Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Musings by Nikki. I'm Nikki, and I am here today with another journal that I have finished. This one. So let me tell you why this, because I actually had like a whole plan of other journals that I was in process with, and they're sitting right over there, still ready and waiting for me to keep working through. But then my friend Emily over at Emephemera's Treasures, hi Emily, she sent me some of her new digital kits. So if you don't know Emephemera's Treasures, she'll be linked in the description box below, and she does amazing work. But on top of that, she also has now digitals, and they are some digitized, the ones that I've used in this book are digitized like crochet doilies and vintage lace pieces, and some embroidery that I think some of it was some that her mom did. So anyway, it's lovely. And as soon as I got them, I started printing them off, and I was like, oh yep, no, I gotta stop everything, hold the phone, and make a book with them. Now, I have never made a sewing, necessarily like fully on, you know, straight up sewing themed journal, just because it never was something that was like kind of in my wheelhouse or whatnot. But as soon as I saw the kits from Emma, I was like, yep, I gotta do this. So then I was like, well, okay, I want to make a full book, so let me look. I hadn't actually gone out and bought kits from other crafters for a while on Etsy. So I went out and bought some other kits from some other designers. So in this book, besides several of Emily's printables, there is a kit by the Queen of Mirth. There is also some tags from Cool Mom Book Boutique. And then, as I was in the middle of working on this, I was watching Gail Agostinelli, who was playing with some of the same types of like vintage, or they're digital vintage images of different types of needlework and stuff as well. And they are from Carrie the Crafter, who I know from Tracy's Facebook group. So I immediately went there and bought one of his kits as well. One or two, nope, just one, I think. So thank you, Emily, for the basic inspiration for this. Your work is all in here. Your stuff's all in here, but then those other things are in here too. And it's kind of, I guess, my take on like a sewing type of themed journal. Just vintagey, like she's super chunky. This is another just super chunky book, right? So anyway, it's 160 pages, 160 very full pages, and I don't think there are hardly any that don't have at least something on them, as I like to do. And it's 6 by 9. It's covered in this really cool, like kind of canvasy, duck clothy type of stuff, and I have double coffee stained it. So I coffee stained it, and then I crunched it all up really hard and let it dry, and then I coffee stained it again, and that's how oh, you can probably see it on the better back on the better, but oh my gosh, better on the back. So it's flat. I made it into book cloth, so it's actually like ironed absolutely flat. Oh, threads everywhere, guys. But you can see it looks like it has texture here because of that double coffee staining, which just makes such cool marks on your stuff. So it's covered with that. Clearly, I have sewn through the binding and put a bunch of my vintage buttons on there, which I just love that look. I think it's super cute. Then on front, I have a piece of vintage embroidery that I put on here, and I sewed some of this, you know, cute little fluffy eyelet lace around there, and a bow with a double button and another bow on top of that. The closure is just eyelets with some fluffy sari silk on there. It's 4 signatures. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's little lace headbands. So let's take a look at her, huh? I've got it zoomed in, so hopefully I'm gonna try and watch in this viewfinder and make sure that I stay in. Look at that, it's tight. I'm going to see if I can make sure I stay in. So, it's got all kinds of fluff, right? Fluff and tabs and all the goodness. This is my favorite kind of look right here with all the chunks of stuff and fluff. There's all the threads, oh, at the bottom are all the buttons that I've sewn on where the binding threads come out. They've got buttons on them. So, okay. Well, let's viewfinder. There we go. Let's take a look. All right. So like I said, my take on sewing theme. So, oh, these are from Tracy's kit. This little buttons and this mending thread. These are from her faux ephemera, and I actually sewed some buttons on and put some thread on, and then I stuck a needle in, but the needle is stuck down underneath and glued on real tight. So you're definitely not going to get poked by that. This is a little applique that I got at a big like fabric outlet here in the cities. And this is one of Carrie's doilies back here, or embroidered pieces. This is some from M's kit. This is some from the Queen of Mirth. I will, if I remember to as I go, I will tell you which kits came, you know, which stuff came from which kits. But so this envelope here is from the large kit. So there's a full journal kit that I use from Queen of Mirth. Let me see if I can find the name of the kit. I thought I had it set right over here. Probably not. Yeah. I'll put it below. It's something about sewing. Anyway, this envelope comes in it. I've sewn the envelope on and made a belly band. This is one of M's doilies from her kit. So it velcros open, and there's a journaling card in here. I've taken one of the doilies and folded it over and sewn. There's tons and tons of sewing in this kit, or in this book. That velcros down, and then behind it, this is one of the Cool Mom, so she sewed them and then scanned them, these big journaling card tags, and they're big when they print out, and I love it. They're awesome. The nice thing about this is they're flat. So they fit in here really well. And then this is one of those cool armoire tags that I have. And I've just simply put some sari silk on top and tucked it in here. Did I say armoire? I meant armoire. I was gonna say, one of the reasons why I love these scanned ribbons and trims and crochet doilies and stuff is because in a book you want to try and keep it, you know, as flat as possible without, well, for someone like me who bulks a book up so ridiculously much, having scanned versions of these is wonderful because they're flat and you can include tons of them. And you know, when they're scanned high def, you do get all of this wonderful texture still, you know, but you can put them down and they're flat. So that's one of the reasons why I love this stuff. This is a piece, oh, so you know, if you've followed me for any amount of time, I often, if I'm going to print something, I say this all the time. I go on my computer, I select like 10 things, and I say print, and then I proceed to ignore the printing completely, don't check on it or anything, and go about doing my crafting. And then I go back and realize I have flubbed up the settings on the printer somehow and have managed to print things at like 3/4 of the size or something. So the first time I printed M's stuff off, that's what happened. However, I won't ever just throw that out. I won't chuck it out. So I used it to make a bunch of pockets and stuff. So I reprinted it, and you'll see some of those pages in here too. But this is actually a pocket that I made out of one of the pieces, and it's just got this sweet little embroidery here. So that's a tuck spot. And then this is 3 of the embroidered doilies from Carrie's kit that I have kind of layered and sewn together to make this big journal card to go in here. And I just like the way it's kind of all hanging out. This is one of her, so I printed her kit out. In Emily's kit, several of the doilies or the sewing or the embroidered fabric pieces are white, and I printed them onto ivory cardstock, and I kind of like how this ended up. I imagine it would be the same if you printed it on white as well, but it kind of ghosts it almost, so you still get this feeling of it's a sewing themed, you know, lots of fabrics and texture, but you can totally journal right over that, and I love that. I love this look. Like I might use these on other kits and stuff, or in other books too, just because I kind of like having something in the background. This is just some pattern paper I had that I love, that I've been waiting for something to put in, and it fit perfectly in here. And I've also made several sewing pattern paper ruffles. This is also from Emily. Thanks, Emily. This book is lots of Emily. This is some of the vintage trim that comes in her kit, and this is a page from the Queen of Mirth kit, and this woman has fallen asleep at her sewing machine, and I imagine that's me some days when I can barely make it through the day. This is just some washi that I had. I've also sewn some fabric tabs on. These are some Tracy labels. This I got from Selena at Amour Fabrique recently, just one of her like daily deal kits, and it's some lusciously stained like baking paper and stuff. So this trim here is part of M's kit as well, and I've cut it, and it's kind of it's not doesn't print straight, so I kind of followed it and cut it off that way. I did have a few sheets of oh, help me out, brain. These tags came from Medieval Mirage. I think it's like her boho kit. So I did have some of those, and they kind of lent themselves to this kind of quilty look anyway, so I put some of those tags in here as well. This was a bit stash busting because, you know, I've used little bits and pieces of some random things. This was some measuring tape paper that I cut. It had a bunch of measuring tape, so I cut it into pieces and used it as trim. Here is one of the cool mom tags. And then this is one of Carrie's doilies, bigger pieces like this, and I cut it into 4s, and I used it as like kind of giant photo corners, and this tucks in there like that. Here's another one of those kind of ghosted almost full-size printouts of M's kit, and some sari silk. I also printed a couple of pieces from M's kit onto vellum. I especially loved the way this pink and blue, like this one is so charming, this cross stitch, and it looks really pretty on here as well. This is from the Queen of Mirth kit. This tuck spot is made out of one of those, whoops, I printed it wrong, papers from M's. That just goes up in there like that. And I've done fancy machine stitching along the edges of things and used random pieces and scraps of lace and stuff on tabs. So you can see the stitching all throughout. These two, I created a belly band out of so the background is one of M's trims. Then I layered I layered all kinds of stuff. Some of her other trims on top, like these were just little offcuts and snip offs as I, you know, put trim on, and I just kind of made like a paper snippet roll, and that's there. And then these two tags come out like this. Someone recently, and I might do a video on this coming up here in sometime near future, but somebody had asked on Tracy's Facebook group, how do you keep things, like when you make a belly band like this, how do you keep things from just sliding out and stuff? And I think for me, it's all about friction, friction points. So like this one, I wanted to put 2 tags in, and I just sewed across the middle as well. So that means that they have only this small space and they won't go out as much. Sometimes I'll sew multiple times and put little things behind. So anyway, I might do a video on just that, because that is something I at first was having a tough time with. This is a multiple level pocket here. One of the tags from the Queen of Mirth kit, and then this is one of Carrie's pieces, and I've literally just used it as a journaling card, tucked in there. And then these are from, this might be from Cool Mom. Oh no, I think these are both from Queen of Mirth. And then this little envelope is as well. It has a little journaling card in there. Right there. Cute little envelope. And this one of Tracy's, and they've got lace sewn across them. And this is one of Tracy's labels. You can see the sewing. Then this is a flip out. So these are corner pockets that she has in the Queen of Mirth kit, and I made them into flip outs. There's cool sewing around the edge. So on the back of the flip, this is one of Emily's pieces that I printed wrong. And these are some tags just from Medieval Mirage, and then this one's from the Queen of Mirth kit. And I put a tab on the top of it. And then this is from the Cool Mom Book Boutique, and it's actually like 3 cross stitch patterns. So I thought that was kind of cool, and instead of cutting them apart, I made it into a little flippy booklet, which fits perfectly right in there. Big piece of eyelet lace there, and on the back there are some offcuts. And then this is one of the misprints from M's kit. There we go. It's the other side of that vellum. There is another one of Emily's images and some sari silk, and then another one of the Cool Mom ones and Carrie's doily that I made into a corners tuck spot there. This is some more of that wonderful crunchy stuff. And then I printed out some of the Emily's doilies at the very small. I think they were like either 4 to a page or 6 to a page. I printed them out real small, and so I could cut them out and use them as little embellishments like this. So they kind of make this little tab or something, maybe. Yeah, kind of. This is some wide washi that I have, and a little sari silk tab. The sweet girl here with some cross stitching in the background and some embroidery up here, and she's from that Queen of Mirth kit. This is some of Emily's vintage ribbon trim. And this is the other side of that lovely page that I was first explaining, the ghosting kind of thing. Here's another one of the ones I printed wrong, but it makes a really cool pocket here. And this is a tag from Queen of Mirth. And then I just sewed around the pocket onto coffee dyed paper just to reinforce it, so it's got a little more heft and doesn't, you know, it takes a little wear and tear. These are this is a double pocket that I made from one of the pieces from Queen of Mirth, and then this pocket here is made from Carrie's doilies, so you can see that I've sewn it there like that. So in there is one of the pieces from the Queen of Mirth kit. Up there it's like a little file folder, side tab folder, and then one of her tags. And then this is some offcut that I have. Oops, come on now. So that fits in there. Extra cute, like one of the wrong prints there, but I turned it into a tuck spot. I love that one. And then another one of the Cool Mom tags. This is one of those pages, like this sampler, this vintage sampler. I like that. This is a double pocket. So here is, I just sewed some pattern paper and a couple of the banners from the kit. And then in this side load pocket here, with this sweet little girl as an image from the Queen of Mirth kit. And so is this tag. So that goes in that way. This goes in here, and the little banners hang over. On the back side of that, we've got a couple of twisty guys, windy guys, and they just open up some cute little journaling spots there. The bottom one does the same way. I probably don't need to show you because it's the exact same thing. So 2 little windy guys. And then this is some more of the polka dot stuff. And I don't know how she gets all this black stuff. The more Fabriques, you guys. If you want some luscious coffee dyed stuff, that's a good place to go. Well, I've gotten all kinds of stuff from, but, oh, I also, oh, I love the crunchiness. This is one of the trims that comes in Carrie's kit, I believe. Some more of that measuring tape trim. This is some just pattern paper that I had, and this is from the kit. I've also made some little, just some little snippets pieces. There's another one of those little snippets. This page, she is knitting, and this is one of the misprinted doilies that I turned into a kind of a tuck spot belly band, and that's just a little notebook that I sewed to put in there. This middle section here, this is one of the large doilies. I reinforced it with some washi, and then when you open it up, oh, I also put some of her vintage trim in there as well. Like that, both sides. It's a wide one, it's really pretty. You could cut it apart, you could use it like that. And then I just ripped some coffee stain papers and put them in there. So another journaling spot. Some paper ribbon, some more Tracy. Oh, these are like the offcut. Behind here is the offcut of M's ribbon, vintage ribbons and trims. Some more clusters and sewing paper trim. Here's another one of those printables from Emily. And this is another page from the Queen of Mirth kit. It's very pretty. Got some quilty goodness in that kit. Some more measuring tape and some more crunchiness. This is another piece of trim that comes from Carrie's kit, I'm quite sure. This is a wide belly band here. So and behind it is another one of the Cool Mom cards. And then on top, I've sewn some of the doilies that I printed out smaller on purpose on top of these tags or pockets. And then I've put some tags in there. And this one doesn't have a tag. It has a little envelope from the kit as well. That's in there. Then this is a big pocket here. And this is a full-size printout of one of Emily's pages, one of her pieces. And I just love it. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Emily, but I'm pretty sure she said her mom actually embroidered this. So what a treasure. And now we all get to share in that too. But it's so pretty, these daisies. Oh, love it. So I wanted to keep a piece intact, and I just made it into, I printed on some ivory cardstock and turned it into a big like writing folder. Put a tab on it. That's a piece of her vintage trim as well. This painting comes from the Queen of Mirth kit. Here's another one of my whoops, I printed it wrong pages. So again, I've just reinforced it and put it on some coffee stained paper and made it into a big pocket. And this is one of the Queen of Mirth tags. This guy, if you watched my 5 on a Dime for project for October, this one we made there. So inside here is a little tiny round tag pocket and some coffee filter, and there is some paper here, some journaling paper, and a tag back here. And that all closes, and there's a tag here and a tag here, and then some cute little goodness and a pin. And then I've got, oh, and tags here. There's a tag here which opens up, and there's a tag here. So lots of taggy goodness right there. If you want to see that in more detail, you can check out my video for October 5 on a Dime. That's where I made that whole element. This is one of the pages from Emily's printout, and it's actually all the trims. And rather than cut them all out, I printed this page several times because I've used these trims throughout the book as actual trims. But I also kind of just liked the way it printed out like this. Since it's a sewing themed book, I just thought I'm going to leave that there. Like, you know, it's a bunch of trims and you could write in between and stuff. So I left it that way. Here's another one of those flip outs. And in here, there is another piece that I printed wrong from Emily's kit. And this is a doily, a crochet doily that comes in the Queen of Mirth kit, I believe. Here's some more of Emily's trim that I have like sewn and then sewn on again. See, sewn and sewn and sewn. Here's another whoopsie print. So I turned it into a tuck spot here. This is some cool fabric paper that I have. It's it feels like fabric. Well, it is fabric. It's like printed fabric bonded with paper. Super cool. Here's that measuring tape paper that I have that I've cut into strips, a piece of it into strips as well. Here's that gorgeous, and I printed this one on vellum. That's from Emily's kit. This is Emily's kit as well. These are just some snippets and some sorry. This, you guys. So I had a big piece of this, and it was going to be a page in the kids from the Queen of Mirth. This cool, like, this kind of rustic quilt, right? So it was going to be a full page in my book. So I was sewing, this is a piece from Emily's kit, this lovely, look at that, isn't that so pretty? So I was sewing this onto it to be a pocket for this, right? And then as I realized, as I was sewing, let's see, what did I do? Oh, as I was sewing the bottom side, I sewed through both pages of it folded up rather than unfolding it. So then I was like, dang it, I thought I was doing so good. But then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna throw this away. So I sewed on some cute little bric-a-brac trim up here, and I figured out how to cut it and turn it into like a folder. So even though it was sewed shut on the bottom, it's still like a folder. It's open here. And I just made a cute little edge punch, a corner punch, and sewed on some eyelet lace trim onto a big piece of, what do you call that? Index card. So now it is this random pockety clip-on thing, and it lives right there next to this beautiful printout of that doily from Emily. Some more of her trim, some more of that wonderful crunchy paper. This is one of the big ones from Carrie's kit. It went off the page a little, so I used it kind of as a tab, and then I made it into a pocket like that. And this little thimble comes from the Queen of Mirth kit. But I mean, look at the printout on these, you guys. This is one of the nice things. I mean, look at that. It still looks almost like it's sewn, doesn't it? But it's completely flat, so you're not bulking your book up by having the actual sewn pieces in here. You know, you could even journal on there if you wanted to. These are some little banners up here, and this is a piece from M's kit, and some sewing here from on the back side. This is some trim. I don't remember which kit this is from, honestly. I have no idea. This might be from Emily. I don't know. This one for sure is Emily, I think. This one here. And then this like fluffy weird piece-ness thing here is actually a page that prints out this way from the Queen of Mirth kit. And it said, looks great in the middle of a signature. So I put it in the middle of a signature. So there it is. I like the quilty goodness on it. All right. This is another piece from M. Some more banners. And I've just taken little pieces like the little offcuts and sewn them across the top of the banners too. I like that look. Sorry, my chair is like super squeaky today. These are some more of Emily's that I probably printed wrong, so I turned them into pockets. And this one's actually a flip open tag. So they make cute little pockets like that. Some more crunchy paper. I put this in here because it reminded me of pattern paper, like the crunchiness kind of. Only this is a little extra crunchy. Because I love that noise too. Here's a little cluster and some sari silk. Here is, oh, this is some more M, and this is as well. This is some more of that beautiful embroidery that I printed on vellum. This is one of her doilies here, and tucking underneath it is this little book here, and it's got some fabric ruffle sewn onto the fabric ruffle paper. This is one of Emily's trims here. This is printed at full size, like it's supposed to be. And then in here is this little embroidering needlepoint book. And these were separate tags, but I turned it into a book, and that's from the Cool Mom one, I'm pretty sure. This is some Tim Holtz wallpaper offcut that I had, and I just sewed some lace on this little pocket down here and did some leaf stitching and stuff, and that's a flip up. More of the Emily trim. This, I put some pieces of doily, and I think that might have come from the Cool Mom one. And then I've got some little envelopes back here. And I didn't put anything in these because honestly this thing was just getting too chunky. So these both windy guy open up, and there's nothing in there. You could stick your little memories and things in there if you wanted. Last signature. This is one of the, so the base of this, right, here's the back side of it, is one of the envelopes that comes with the Queen of Mirth kit, and I've made a double flip out like so. This one has got a little paper pad, and then this is one of the little Tim Holtz die cuts. Like, oh, my girls are down there arguing. Can you hear? Isn't that precious? There's a bunch of little tags. There's a little one of my little grungy file folders in there. There is one of the tickets from the Queen of Mirth kit, and then this is one of those pages, or one of those tags from the Medieval Mirage. This is some of M's trim. This is some more fun sewing. Then, whoops, excuse me, I'm trying to stay in frame. This is, I think this one came from the Queen of Mirth kit, as did this. So I turned it into a belly band, and then obviously I just cut the envelope open. Well, I just didn't ever glue it shut, right, to make it into a flip. And this is one of M's, and this little trim comes from the Queen of Mirth kit, and I've done some fun sewing around that. And then this is another one of Carrie's up here, and I made a Tim Holtz wallpaper tag to go in that pocket. All right, moving on. The back side of the flap makes a tuck spot, and I've put this from the Queen of Mirth kit. More of M's beautiful embroidery stuff. This is another one of Emily's printouts. Some washi. This little girl comes in the Queen of Mirth kit, so I made her into a side pocket with a little tag from Medieval Mirage. And then in the pocket, there is, this is one of the whoopsie I printed it wrong pieces, so I sewed it onto some cardstock and made it into a tag. And then this is from Queen of Mirth. Oh, it's lilies and linens. That's what it is. Linens and lilies or something like that, I think. I just saw that lily and I was like, lilies, huh? And then that occurred to me. I think it's something like that. All right, tucked behind this little Tim Holtz clip thing is another little odd oopsie pocket thing, but I actually kind of like the way this turned out. So this is, this hole, this is like, you know, when you cut down a piece of 12 by 12 and you end up with the part on the top that has a hole. I use that to be like the hole for the tag, kind of. And then I sewed it into these two pockets, and these pull out and they are just journaling space. And I suppose you could glue them shut and make envelopes if you wanted to, but then these are just pockets and they go like this. And then the windy guy goes around here like that. So kind of fun. This one does the same thing. And you could journal on the back as well. So it's kind of a modified tag thing. Experimental, we're going to call it. This is some more of that great paper from Amore Fabrique. Great coffee, super grungy coffee staining. I've got a big chunk of lace up here, and this is a page from the Queen of Mirth kit. This is some of M's trim. We're almost there, guys. This is some of Emily's thing, and I've made these two big pockets here. I didn't put anything in them. They are for you to use. This is some pattern paper I had, and this is from the kit, the Queen of Mirth kit. Some Tracy labels and just some, oh, I didn't show you, but the buttons, right? There's little button clusters at the bottom of all the signature ties. These scissors are in the Queen of Mirth kit. Here's the other giant pocket there. Oops. I flip like 3 pages at a time there. Some more little clusters, and this is some more of M's trim that I turned into a fabric or a little ribbon. Here there are these 2 file folders that come in the Queen of Mirth kit. So another windy guy. You guys, lots of windy guys this time. That holds them both shut. So they open up. You can journal on them. There are also pockets behind here, but again, I didn't put anything in. I had to stop myself, or this thing would have been super chunkalicious. It already is. And those just go through 2 little holes down here at the bottom that are right here. And this pocket has in it another one of the, whoops, I printed it wrong, created it into a tag, and then one of Carrie's doilies as well. And this is Medieval Mirage. I put one of the Tracy tags on it and then made it into a pocket for one of the tickets that comes with the Queen of Mirth. This is sewn around. There's so much sewing in this book. More sewing there. This big offcut of ribbon that I had that I made into a flappy tabby thing. And we're almost there, you guys. She's big. Some more of that lovely embroidery on vellum. And on the, oh, this is one of my favorite parts of this book. I made this belly band, and it is just layers and layers. I printed off the a bunch of Emily's doilies at like real small, tiny, and cut them out, fussy cut them out, and then just started layering them and sewing each layer on individually. So there's like 4 or 5 layers of sewing on there to keep them all on, and it creates this belly band. I just really like how that turned out. So I think I'll try that with other types of pieces of things as well, but I love that super layered look. And then this is the last of the Cool Mom tags. Oh gosh, there we go. And this is the back side. So there's my maker mark. This is one of the Tracy faux ephemera, so I wrapped some embroidery floss around there. It's glued on. And these are some of M's. These buttons I sewed onto this buttons card and glued that on. Some trim. This is another little snippet with some fabric and vintage lace stuff. So there we go, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me and taking a look. I am trying to decide if I'm going to go back, like where to pick up my train of thought before I totally like squirreled out and made this book. So you'll see me in the next few days. Well, these next few days are really busy for us here in this household, but the husband's gone on business for the whole next week, so I might have some extra time to just like work on stuff. So who knows, you might see me. I kind of have some ideas on some things I would really like to craft along with. I haven't been as present in the last several weeks, and that's just because health issues have kind of taken their toll, but I am actually feeling okay right now. And so would really like to spend some more time crafting with you guys. So we'll see where my life leads me in the next few days. I hope to be back a little bit more frequently to hang out with you guys, because I really do enjoy interacting with you guys. So this book will go in my shop, and it'll be available at the time this video airs. And until I see you next time, whenever that is, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, whatever time it is, on whatever side of this wonderful planet that you live on. And I will see you guys all again very soon. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.